to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video called Not Everyone Deserves a Microphone, and it's true. In my last video I was talking about how not everyone deserves a platform to influence the masses, because if you're going to do that, you need to hold yourself to a higher standard, because that's a big role to have. People might even try to do what you're doing. So it's important that, we have good people in that slot. But this video is by Janae Danielle, and let's see what this video is.
For 400 years, that sounds like a choice. When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
When you think about it, in nature, no other animal wipes after they use the restroom. So why do we do that? If God wanted us to wipe...
How are you dancing in a video after finding out that your baby has RSV? And Kanye West, already this video is just, ugh, I don't even know. He said slavery is a choice.
About slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
When you think about it...
Why are you making a TikTok video while your baby is in the hospital? Like, what is wrong?
In nature, no other animal wipes after they use the restroom. So why do we do that? If God wanted us to wipe after we use the restroom, we would have a built-in way to do that.
I love social media, but one thing it did was...
That's like saying if God wanted us to brush our hair, he would have a built-in way to do that. If God wanted us to be healthy, he would have had a built-in way to do that. Like, some people just don't make any sense. And your argument, like, what's the end goal here with what you're saying? Are you trying to argue that, like, you shouldn't have to wipe after you use the restroom? Because that's disgusting. That's such a disgusting... Why? By that logic, I hope you don't, then you probably don't use any medicine. You probably don't brush your hair. You probably don't bathe, because, if we were meant to bathe, then God would have made it built into us to naturally bathe ourselves. Are you stupid? Like, it's just, why are you even trying to argue this? Like, are you trying to argue that you shouldn't have to wipe yourself? Why don't you want to wipe yourself? Like, I don't understand. Like, you don't want to be clean. It's not even like you're forced to do it, 'cause technically you're not, but, like, over time people are going to smell you, and then it's like, you don't want to be clean though. Like, why are you trying to argue that people shouldn't have to wipe themselves? It's just weird.
Give a platform and a voice to spread information to people that did not need it.
You ever scroll past somebody's video and think, why do you have a mic? Not even trying to be shady, but the confidence be loud and the content is low-key concerning. And we've all been low-key suffering the consequences ever since. And don't get me wrong, I am a big believer of free speech, but we're giving platforms to people who mistake attention for anointing. Today, we're talking about the rise of the unqualified, misinformed, and straight up confused. Welcome to the Girl Talk you didn't know you needed. Now, I'm not saying you have to subscribe, you're classy, you don't just give those out for free. But hopefully at the end of this video, we become bestie enough to where you feel like you can take that next step. Let's start with the loudest issue. Literally. Because we are currently living in the era of loud and wrong. And we all see it.
Okay. We could honestly move past this whole flat earth thing, because honestly, if you read the Bible and you look at it, okay, the way that he describes it is a firmament, which a firmament is a flat surface with a dome around it. Flat earthers are not crazy. I mean, the tinfoil on the hat, on the head, I don't know about. Very clearly, that's a little off. But the flat earth thing is not crazy. I mean, it's in the Bible. I don't care what the scientists teach you. I'm going off of what the Bible says. The Bible describes a firmament. Do you want to look that up? Let's just, because I don't understand why that had to be broadcasted while we're talking about people who don't deserve a microphone. Let's just look up a firmament. I mean, while we're here. Firmament, okay? A firmament. This is how it looks. This is how a firmament looks. That's what it's described as. So for everyone who wants to try to go after flat earthers, I mean, this is the way that God described it. And I don't think a person is crazy for thinking that the earth is flat. Just because I don't listen to a group of scientists, which I've never physically seen it, but I'm going off of my belief in God, my faith in God. So you're just going off of random people. I'm just saying. I know that God exists. I know for a fact that God exists. Like I know for a fact. And my thing is, the Bible literally talks about how the firmament is. I'm not even gonna go into this. This is a whole nother conversation, to be honest. And I'm really not willing to have it. I'm not willing to have it. It's not, a person who thinks the earth is flat is not crazy. And you shouldn't treat them that way. Not to mention that, like, I mean, the tinfoil thing, fine, you know, that looks a little crazy, but not everyone that believes the earth is flat is wearing tinfoil on their head, so don't come for me.
Confidence is trending harder than credibility. Somewhere down the line, we stopped rewarding being right and started rewarding being bold, regardless of accuracy.
I'd been with the CIA for a few years, and then one morning I got ordered to report to a military base, and I was briefed on something called Operation Water the Country.
Can you explain what that is?
Oh, sure. It's a code name we use for the process of removing all the living birds. They used a poison gas dropped from airplanes.
Now, after the living birds were taken out of the picture, what was the next step?
Well, they were replaced with fake birds. They were electronic decoys. They could watch people without them knowing it.
Now, mind you, they're dead serious. While I was researching for this video, I stumbled upon a TikTok page literally named
Lots of times when people say that it's a conspiracy, a lot of the time it's true. And no one wants to even talk about it because no one wants their reality to be shattered. There's so many people that have been saying pigeons are not real. Like, you can never find a baby pigeon. You always see grown pigeons, but you never see baby pigeons. I'm not saying that it's legit, but I'm just saying, like, you know, that's a good point because I've never seen a baby pigeon. Have you guys? Because I haven't. Because I'm not saying that they're true, that they're right, but I'm just saying a lot of times when it's a conspiracy theory and they want to make fun of you, it's actually the truth. Then you find out that it's true later. And then that's when, like, the government chooses when they want to release information. But before, if you release information before they want to release it, then they're going to label you as crazy, a conspiracy theorist, you're nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, making fun of you.
Birds aren't real. I'm sorry. It's so hard keeping a straight face. Because this account is literally verified on TikTok. They have over 8 face. this video, I stumbled upon a TikTok page literally named Birds Aren't Real. I'm sorry. It's so hard keeping a straight face. Because this account is literally verified on TikTok. They have over 800,000 followers. And every single one of their videos is about birds being surveillance drones.
In the 1970s, the government has been replacing birds with bird drones to spy on us. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? Ever? You probably haven't because they don't exist. But if they did exist, surely someone has seen a baby pigeon, right? Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
No. So at this point, if y'all see me rebrand my whole page and start claiming that squirrels are spies, don't side-eye me, okay? I'm just trying to make my coin. Oh, this is getting so unserious already. Okay, at this point,
Come on, bro. I mean, I'm not saying they're right, though, right? But I'm thinking about it right now, right? I've lived in New Jersey. I've been to New York a bunch of times. I've never seen a baby pigeon. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that they're right, but I'm just saying I've never seen a baby pigeon. Is that not weird to anybody? You know? Things to think about.
plot isn't just gone. It's been erased out of our history books, our logic.
I'm not following them. I'm just saying I've never seen a baby pigeon.
And on the bright side, I do feel like a lot of people believe that this account and this whole ideal is satire. I feel like most people can see that this is a joke that just might be running for a little bit too long. But the people in these comments, y'all, bless their hearts. So let's lose a few brain cells, shall we? Thank you for spreading the truth. I can't believe people are still so blind when all the proof is right in front of them. If it flies, it spies. Someone said, I knew it. Please, I'm too gullible for this. Did anyone follow as a joke but feel like it's not a joke anymore? And lastly, my favorite. At one point, I started hearing birds. Y'all, I don't even know how to say this word. Ooh. Whoa, let me get my vocabulary straight before I try to laugh at somebody. Hold on. Synchronously. I think you say this synchronously. At one point, I started hearing birds synchronously chirping outside my home for a few hours every night. It sounded too artificial and odd to me. But hey, everyone loves a good conspiracy theory, especially if it sounds passionate enough. Nobody questions the logic. But to be fair, maybe those comments are satire and people are just feeding into a joke that we're not a part of. And that's the thing about the internet. You never really know who's in on the joke and who genuinely believes the nonsense. Because the line between a joke and delusion can get a little blurry. And sometimes people take it way too far. Like, risk your life for views too far. And that's when it stops being funny and gets dangerous. Not unless your humor is a little dark, then it's still kind of funny. Now there are so many examples of this that we can speak about, but the one that sticks out to me the most, cue the Tide Pod Challenge.
Dangerous phenomenon on social media known as the Tide Pod Challenge, still causing concern across the country, and today YouTube is hoping to stop the videos. The videos have become an online craze.
This reminds me of the salt and ice challenge that they used to have, where they would tell you to put salt on your skin and hold ice there for a really long time, but in the end it just burned your skin. And that's when I feel like that's when it all started. Or even like there were challenges where like you pour hot boiling water on people. I've seen videos of it and it basically just burned people's skin off. But obviously I wouldn't do something like that, but people have been doing stupid stuff like this for a while. It's always so risky, but like, where are your parents at? Like, where are your parents at that they're just letting you do stuff like this? But then in all realness, like some kids are sneaky. They do things, they be hiding stuff. They be trying to do things that they're not supposed to do.
Craze among teens where they eat laundry detergent packets on camera. It's unclear how this craze got started. Some reports suggest the idea grew out of online memes, joking about how appetizing the pods looked.
What started as a joke about how they looked like candy turned into a full-on internet challenge with people actually eating them on camera. And of course, the algorithm only praised this type of behavior. The views went up, the shares skyrocketed, and the danger, it was just ignored. Thankfully, most of the people who participated in that challenge didn't build a whole platform off of that nonsense, but that's not always the case. Because on the internet, going viral doesn't need to come with purpose, value, or dignity. You just need that one clip, that one moment, and baby, you're an influencer.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing, you get me?
Yeah, we're going there. I know, some of y'all probably forgot.
You guys, the internet is such a vulgar place, really. I think the internet is such a vulgar place. And people could chop it up to, like, you know, women, men, culture, race, all that. I don't think that's what it is. I think, like, people in general, of any culture, of any race, of any everything, could be vulgar. But I just think the internet promotes vulgar things. And the things that they make popular are such vulgar things, which really says a lot about a person's mindset and where we're at in life, at the fact that you think it's funny when someone's talking about sexual things like that and see nothing wrong with it, you know? There's nothing interesting about what she said. There's nothing, like, remotely funny about what she said. I mean, I just think that her country accent, I think that's, you know, a little comical, but I just don't think stuff like that is really funny.
About this woman, and here I am dragging her back into the algorithm. But listen, this is the perfect moment for when a viral moment turns into a platform. One raunchy clip and suddenly we're moving to LA, getting invited on stage at concerts and selling merch. And no shade to her, I'm not a hater, make your coins by any needs meet. But let's keep it a buck. One moment of shock should not equal a whole platform. She didn't drop a message, she dropped spit, and somehow the internet praised her for it.
Why did Hawk2 become such a big deal for so many people?
Because people don't like the fact that there's no skill involved. Oh, she just gets approached on the street and she says something into a microphone that's not even that funny, and now she's she's famous and she's a millionaire?
And that's the type of thing we need to be reflecting on. What does that say about us? Is that all it takes? We all know the internet.
Your interest, the things that you're interested in, that says a lot about, like, you and, like, your mindset. It says a lot about your mindset and the things that the way that your brain is moving. I just feel like you're interested in vulgar things like that. It just, to me, I just feel like your priorities are in the wrong place and you're focused on the wrong things, and it's so easy to be susceptible to sinful ways, sinful behaviors. Not to say that video is going to influence someone to do something crazy, but I'm just saying, like, it's just vulgar. And then people, so many people to be so interested in it, it just shows the mindset. Like, look at where your mind is, that you think something like this is funny and interesting, that you just need to share it and make it go viral. Like, so many people, I don't
can hype you up today and drag you.
Nothing against her, but I'm just saying in general, like, this isn't the first raunchy type of video that has gone viral. Nothing against her. Obviously, you make money, but, you know, she's making money, I guess. But I'm just saying, like, it's just a little vulgar to me.
tomorrow. Miss Haktua thought that she was gonna build a dream life off of one dirty joke, but instead she got a quick taste of reality.
Hayley Welch, aka the Hawk Tour Girl, is the perfect example of how to lose your entire audience as quickly as possible. From openly taking advantage of her fans, to lying during a Coffeezilla interview and denying any wrongdoing. It's no surprise that all of Hayley's social media stats are in the red and dropping fast. However, that decline seems to only be the beginning of Hayley's career downfall.
Because the same app that made you a star will turn on you before the echo even fades. Everyone
people are hypocrites.
Wants to be an influencer now, even if they have nothing to say or if they have the wildest things to say. People with a mic and a following are mistaken for experts. And that's kind of the dangerous part, because we stopped caring about what people actually bring to the table. Viral doesn't mean that you're ready. It doesn't mean you're informed, and it definitely doesn't mean that you're adding any value. I'm just saying. And that's why we have to start asking. What are we actually performing? Because some people perform hate, point blank, and it doesn't always look like yelling or slurs. Sometimes it's dressed up as a podcast with wild takes and a ring light.
You don't think women should get the right to vote?
This is the biggest clown. Her, Myron Gaines, Fresh and Fit in general, like red pill garbage, bull crap narrative. These people frustrate me to no end. I saw her interview where this lady just demolished her in a debate. That just shows like there's not much going on up there in her head. She's just regurgitating stuff that men say, because women who solely base their value off of what men like, which is something that's so fleeting, literally have no depth, have no kind of like actual knowledge up there. You can't go off of everything that men want. You just can't. Men will like one thing one decade and then change it the next decade. There was this whole thing where being skinny and being basically like a twig in the early 2000s was like everything that a man wanted back then. And then it changed to they want women with a big butt and curves and everything. So it changes. What men want changes. But to base your value based off of just what they want, you'll never be happy. You'll never be fulfilled. You'll never make everyone happy. I don't even understand. And then your mother, Pearl, is a type of woman who made a life for herself, raised you, and like is successful. She's a working mother. I don't understand how you can come from a woman that's like that and then you regurgitate things like this, the thing that you do online. It doesn't make any sense. It's really a slap in the face to like what your mother has done for you. And honestly, I'm not even going to go too much into this because this is not what the video is about. But Pearl should have never, like, who gave her a microphone? Who gave her a microphone? Like, because you've caused an annoyance on the internet. You've literally caused an annoyance on the internet. You just frustrated like a whole gender of people. And it's unnecessary. It's not even just the women who are pissed off at Pearl. It's the men too. Like there are men who just, in either way, right? You're saying all these talking points, they're still not going to pick you. You could be a pick me, but at the end of the day, they're still not picking you. They're not picking you. Like someone like Myron Gaines is not picking you. The men that you're trying to like impress, they're not picking you. And then like you say hypocritical things that are just unnecessary. Like leave people alone. Leave people alone. Mind your business. Like you don't agree. Okay, so who cares? Like mind your business. No one even asks for your opinion. No one needs it. It's so irrelevant. It's so irrelevant.
No, I don't.
Why?
If feminists want the right to vote, right, then it should come with the draft.
Your proposals.
So this is how stupid she is. Because so if women were put on the draft, right? Women are the ones that are having the children. So let's say you have like 5 kids. And then the law is they changed it so that women have to be drafted. Who's staying home taking care of the kids? Can someone let me know that? Who's raising the kids? Are they just going to raise themselves? So we're just going to raise a whole generation of children who was raised by themselves or raised by the internet or even worse, raised by the government. Is that what you want? How does that make the world? This is, I just can't, like, someone has to get her off the internet. Like she's such, everything she says is such an ear sore. Like
Taking the vote away from women are deeply regressive. Why would you want to remove just from yourself the right to vote?
Because again, before you weren't trying to divide a family. It was one family unit. You had one vote for the family. I mean, I don't think it's good for a family to have 2 votes.
A woman that goes by Just Pearly Things created a platform by...
Well, I mean, for the most part, women who are married, they usually vote the same as their husbands. So, I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't be able to vote, but they do end up voting in terms of the same thing as their husbands. So I guess it's just more votes for the political party that they're voting for, which I don't see why that would be a problem. Most people who are Republican are not marrying Democrats anymore, thanks to like the mid to late 2000s. People just being so strongly opinionated to the point that like they feel like the other person just has to like end their life.
Sitting in front of a mic and confidently saying the most regressive things she could stir up. Confidently saying women shouldn't vote in the 21st century, that's not a hot take. That's a historical setback. It almost seems like no...
If you want to talk about abortion, you know, I'm all for it. But if you're talking about like voting and stuff like that, I mean, to be honest, right? I think voting is garbage anyway on both ends. I feel like there's no point in voting if you have the Electoral College. The Electoral College is just going to pick the president for you. So why bother voting? That's just how I feel. Not to mention that a lot of people just go into idolatry when it comes to these politics things. Like they worship these politicians and things like that. I don't think it's necessary. I just think that politics in general is boring, but also just putting all your hope and faith in politicians and politics. When these people go home, they golf together. They don't care. They just, why are you know what I'm saying? Like, they hang out afterwards. Meanwhile, you're at each other's throats. Like, the people are at each other's throats. While, like, the 2 politicians, Democrat and Republicans, are, you know, hanging out later. You know what I'm saying? They're having barbecues at each other's houses, like, talking about how funny you guys are reacting. These people are, like, what they put on is not real. It's all for show.
No matter how wild the take, these type of people still get booked, boosted, and followed. And she almost has...
Every time I see Myron Gaines, that man, I'm not even gonna talk about it. That whole podcast should have never been a thing. It's just driven men further and further down towards incel behavior and incel ideology. But whatever. I guess maybe that was the point of letting them have a platform.
2 million followers. Just let that sink in. When that many people are tuning in, that's a historical setback. It almost seems like no matter how wild the take, these type of people still get booked, boosted, and followed. And she almost has 2 million followers. Just let that sink in. When that many people are tuning in, we kind of have to ask, what exactly are you agreeing with? Now, sure, you can argue that Miss Hawktua and Miss Women Shouldn't Vote were just exercising their right to free speech, sharing their opinions and just doing what...
Put that on your own time. Don't put it on the internet, you know? That's all I'm saying.
The internet rewards. But that's where things start getting a little tricky because sometimes opinions can get repackaged as facts. And once that happens, it's no longer just content. It's misinformation with studio lights and a Sony camera. We as everyday...
That's why it's dangerous. That's why they should not be allowed to have a platform.
People are getting more and more gullible online. And honestly, it's really not even our faults because the content, it looks good. The advice, it sounds confident. And the facts, they look believable. Even when they're coming from someone who claims that Botox can treat your depression.
You better fix my entire life, you little
Y'all, it's getting dangerous out here. And let's follow up with the caption that states, y'all, it's depression.
You better fix my entire life, you little
Y'all, it's getting dangerous out here. And let's follow up with the caption that states, struggling with mental health and depression? Studies show Botox injections will not only help your skin and wrinkles, but also improve your depression. Hashtag mental health tips, hashtag depression TikTok, hashtag health talk, hashtag skincare tips, hashtag depression tips, hashtag mental health. Because nothing says emotional healing like paralyzing your forehead. Wrinkles are literally a normal part of aging, and mental health issues like depression are serious things that people go through. But instead of promoting therapy, medication, or even support systems, she's out here recommending we inject a foreign substance into our face to fix our mind.
What's rule number 1? Party? No, not party. No, it's not party.
Can we please be serious? Like, can we please be for real for 1 second in our entire lives? Honestly, that's where we are right now. In a digital world where the wildest claims...
I'm never getting Botox. I'd never get Botox. And the only reason why a lot of people get Botox in LA or in, you know, Florida, I think that's like for the most part, that's the main places where people get Botox. Like, it's so funny. It's so popular there. The only reason why people do stuff like that, literally, is because everyone, like, cares too much about what other people think. Like, you could be from any other state, then you move to that state, like LA, and you move to that city. You move to the city of LA in California. And then all of a sudden you're wanting to get Botox when you never wanted them before. It's really because over there, everything that you wear, dress, you do, people are just staring at you like you're in freaking high school walking down the hallway. Like, people do that here in Georgia. People do that in Florida. I don't understand why you have to care so much about what other people think. They're not paying anything for you. They're not doing anything for you. And ultimately, like, it just makes you depressed. There's no point in caring what other people think. You go to New York, New Jersey, you can go to the store in pajamas and no one cares. You can walk down the street in pajamas and no one is looking at you crazy. No one cares that you're walking around in pajamas. No one cares that your shoes aren't designer. Like, I was in Walmart a while ago when I was in New Jersey. Guy came in the store with just a diaper on and Band-Aids all over his legs. Nobody looked at him like he was crazy. I mean, like, I looked at him and then I just kept going. I didn't look at him with a dirty look. I wasn't trying to, like, you know, judge him up and down. That's just what he came to the store in. Like, who am I to tell him that he can't walk around like that? You know what I'm saying? He's living his life. He's minding his business. Why am I bothering him? That's the kind of mentality that people need to have. Why are you bothering me if I'm minding my own business? Like, if I come out of the house however I want to come out, that has nothing to do with you. It has zero to do with you. It's such a high school, immature, childish mentality. That's why I will never, ever, ever go to Los Angeles, California. In California in general, Florida in general, I will never go there. Just because people are so vain. And honestly, I'm honestly thinking about leaving Georgia because Georgia is the same way. A lot of people are vain. They're just looking you up and down. And I know what you're saying. I know what you're going to say. Why are you so focused on people looking at you? But at the same time, if you're staring up at a register, right? And you could see someone on your peripherals giving you a dirty look and they're standing close to you, you could see them looking at you and you kind of just look at them like, what? You know what I'm saying? And then they look you up and down. And I'm like, okay, like, minding my own business. Leave me alone. What the hell? That's the kind of stuff that you get in Georgia, California, and Florida. I just don't like vain people. I think that's so stupid. Mind your business. Mind your business. You don't know what I'm going through. Mind your business. That's all I'm saying.
Can be treated as factual. If it sounds passionate, if it looks polished, no one questions it. Every week it's a new fake historical moment, a celebrity deep fake, or some dramatic image meant to pull at your heartstrings. And these aunties on Facebook are out here reposting it like it came straight from CNN.
I don't think the world is ready for the new level of fake videos that old people are going to be sharing on Facebook. Just know, as soon as a young person starts uploading clips from it onto Facebook, the old people are going to go wild. And if you think there's any hope that old people will be able to tell it's fake, well, this is proof that they can't. Recently, a huge trend has been going around showing grandparents GTA 5 footage and telling them it's from the news. And they gobble it up like it's nobody's business. It's the funniest thing ever.
The rise of AI-generated content has taken misinformation to a whole new level. It's not just bad opinions anymore. It's completely fabricated realities, stitched together by a prompt and some confidence.
I'm never deleting Facebook. As we can see, this horrible AI image says, "Today's my birthday. No one loved me because I'm poor." The amount of people who think that this is real and are commenting like, "Happy birthday, don't be sad, keep your head up," whatever, all these things. Astonishing.
And people, especially older people who didn't grow up with this type of technology, they are falling for it left and right. And the scariest part, a lot of these people, they can't tell the difference. One scroll and suddenly you're believing in events that never happened. You're believing that a man can turn 150 years old. This isn't just misinformation. It's digital storytelling with no actual proof behind it. And we're not just watching it, we're reposting it, stitching it, and building beliefs around it. And that's the internet that we're on now, where the algorithm doesn't care what's real, just what's engaging. So yeah, this internet era, It's getting a bit wild. Loud opinions get platforms, fake news gets praised, and the most viral voices are more delusional than ever. At the end of the day, we're the ones who are deciding who gets the clicks, the platform, and the attention. And whether you realize it or not, your likes, shares, and views are votes. So let's start choosing better and stop confusing confidence with credibility. I know you're smarter than the algorithm gives you credit for, but these conversations still matter for the people in the back. And I'm not saying that we have to be perfect, okay? We can enjoy a little mess here and there. But we should at least know when something is meant to inform us and when it's meant to manipulate us. Because at the end of the day,
Red pill is full-blown manipulation. I just like to add that in. And it's very easy for old people to confuse. Obviously, it's for them, they don't understand exactly what she was saying. They don't really understand the internet that well. So they see something, they'll think it's real. AI has advanced itself way too much, in my opinion, but it is what it is.
not everyone deserves a platform, and that's okay. Some people just need a good long break from the post button. You have discernment, you have taste, and now you have me. And I'm not saying you have to subscribe, okay? You're classy, you don't just give that out for free. But if you're still here, you know where that subscribe button is. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Okay, so the Bible verses for this video. Well, there's a plethora of Bible verses that show like people just shouldn't talk so much, you know? People who have a platform, not everyone who has a platform deserves to have a platform. And people who talk so much, like Pearl and Myron, I freaking, red pill just makes me sick. But Proverbs 17:28 says, even a fool who keeps silent is considered wise. When he closes his lips, he is deemed intelligent. You know, sometimes it's not worth, things are not always worth saying. Sometimes certain opinions just need to be kept to yourself. You don't have to voice all of your opinions. It's just not necessary. And then there's another, excuse me, and then there's another one. Which one am I gonna pick? Honestly, all of them are good ones. Proverbs 10:19 says, when words are many, transgression is not lacking. So you're increasing your chances of sinning when you talk a lot. And then it says, but whoever refrains his lips is prudent, otherwise known as wise. So in other scriptures, they use the word wise instead of prudent. But yeah, sometimes when you talk less, you just come across as more wise because it seems like you're listening. When you listen, you gain more understanding. Some people just don't deserve platforms. Like that girl who is talking about like not wanting to wipe herself. Like, just keep that to yourself. Like, really just keep that to yourself. Nobody needed to know that. And then now everyone is questioning whether you wipe yourself or not, which is like a hygiene problem. Like, that's a serious issue. I mean, you can end up getting like a yeast infection if you're a girl. There's so many reasons why you should wipe yourself. I don't know why you would put that on the internet and have people question your hygiene like that. It's just unnecessary. And then even with that whole Pearl thing, I think she's an idiot. I just think she's an idiot. I think Myron is an idiot. And I think he focuses so much on the black community. He focuses so much on the black community, right? Even though he's Sudanese, and in Sudan, they're having a massacre right now. They're having a massacre right now in Sudan. He's so focused Like Myron, he's so focused on the black community and how like all the things that we have issues with, right? But he's not talking about how there's like a massacre in Sudan. Like if you don't have your stuff in order, how can you come over here and tell other people to get their stuff in order? Like, come on. Sudan massacre. It happened in 2025. Like it literally just happened. It literally just happened. Meanwhile, you know, he's talking about black women and all kinds of stuff when there's a massacre happening in Sudan. Yeah, there's a civil war happening in Sudan. So much so, and I was looking at information. It's so much so that like you could see piles of bodies in like from a drone. And then you're sitting here talking about the black community when your whole country that you're claiming is in civil unrest. Like they're in civil unrest. They're like their people are getting killed. The people are dying. And then you're talking about black people and how we're so terrible. But we're in a first world country and we're not being massacred right now. I mean, so are we doing so bad? I don't think so. And then you want to talk about black people being so terrible. And this is I can talk about this for hours. I'm not even going to go into this because he literally is just people like that piss me off. People like Myron Gaines piss me off so bad. By late 25, over 12 million people were displaced. I mean, come on. It's civil unrest. And then you want to talk about black people who helped build this country that is also a first world country, which, by the way, you would not be able to make nearly as much. You would not be able to make money in this country with your skin color if it wasn't for our ancestors, African-American ancestors. You would not be able to make money in this country with your skin color. You wouldn't. You literally would not even be able to be allowed to be here if it was not for my ancestors who fought for people from Africa to come here, who fought for people from the Caribbeans and all the other islands to come here. And then just for you to come here and spit in our faces, the descendants of those people who fought for you to be here. Like, you're disrespectful. You're disrespectful little. But anyways, like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Oh my goodness. I can't. I can go on and on of the scriptures that show. Well, yeah, I can go on and on about scriptures that literally talk about how people talking too much can literally make you look stupid. Because there's plenty of scriptures that prove it. Right here. Take your pick. Take your pick on why some people should just stop talking and literally just listen a little bit so that they can have a little bit more understanding. Take your take your pick. Any one of these can literally prove as to why some people just do not need a platform because they talk too much. Maybe they just don't have enough understanding and wisdom, and it shows. Anyways, like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Till next time.